The following podcast was produced and edited by members of Arlington Community Media, Inc., or ACMi, the Community Access Center for the town of Arlington, Massachusetts. Find out how you can make your own podcast at acmi.tv and support us. With cable TV on the decline, donations from listeners and viewers like you are now more important than ever. If you are a business, become an underwriter at acmi.tv/sponsor and lift up this local community resource.
Welcome back to the Jason Russell House in Arlington Center for the next episode of Riding with Revere. I'm your host, Jennifer, and returning with me today is silversmith, industrialist, and patriot Paul Revere.
Hello again.
And we also have our favorite Arlington local, Jane.
Hey there.
As we've mentioned, we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution. In our last episode, we talked about a few major industries and movements that occurred in Arlington over the years. Today, we're going to look at where Arlington is right now. Yesterday, we took Mr. Revere on a tour of Arlington.
I'm so glad the weather cooperated with us. Arlington is beautiful on a sunny day.
I have to agree, although I couldn't help being gobsmacked by just about everything. Like riding in a car. I couldn't believe that pushing on a little pedal could make you go the speed of a horse.
Unless you're in traffic or riding the 77 bus.
That's another thing, what you call public transportation. All of those people standing, packed in tight while the bus is moving, some wearing earmuffs.
Headphones.
It seems so unsafe.
It's even more crowded on the Red Line train out of Alewife. Another serious adventure, underground. But public transportation is how many people get to work in Boston and neighboring cities. You saw that people also bike to work as well.
I do. There are so many beautiful biking trails where you don't have to deal with cars. I love to bike on the Minuteman Trail that starts at the Alewife train station and runs parallel to Mass Ave.
I definitely have many more questions about how that underground train system works, but I'll stick with our tour yesterday. Mass Ave is the main street that we traveled on, correct?
Yes, it runs from Cambridge all the way to Lexington.
I enjoyed the part of Arlington that has the Capitol Theater. There seem to be so many restaurants with cuisines that I could only imagine in my time. Greek, Mexican, Thai, vegan, and the ability to see a moving picture, eat ice cream, and drink a beer if you wanted to. I could scarcely believe it.
That would be the Fat Greek, Kilo's Taqueria, Boone Market, and Zoo Vegan. All great places, although I saw you looking in the town tavern.
Yes, it was very tempting.
I was glad that we decided to drive up to Arlington Center and take a walk down to Spy Pond with some coffee from the Kickstand Cafe.
I'd never had coffee in a paper cup before, but it was nice to sip while we walked. I thought Spy Pond was beautiful.
I wish you could have seen it in warmer weather. Children play at the playground you saw, and families picnic near the water. Sometimes people boat on the water. My kids have taken sailing lessons during the summer at the Arlington Boys and Girls Club, which is located on that pond.
As I mentioned yesterday, the Arlington Boys and Girls Club is a place where kids can play, swim, and take a number of classes. There are many families in Arlington that need a place for kids to go after school or to go to camp during the summer while adults work.
There seem to be many families in Arlington.
Yes, there are. There are 7 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and a high school that was just rebuilt.
I couldn't believe the size of that school.
Arlington schools have a good reputation, strong arts and music programs, and vibrant athletic programs.
There are also great parks like Menotomy Rocks Park, which have woods to hike through, what we call the Res, which also has a beach area, and Robbins Park, where many kids go to sled during the winter. My kids play soccer at McLennan and Thorndike parks, and those are just the larger parks.
It sounds idyllic. I'm sure my children would have enjoyed living here. They also would have loved exploring the shops in Arlington Center, although my favorite part of that section of Arlington was the Robbins Library.
Fun fact, Arlington's libraries were the first free public libraries in Massachusetts.
Walking into the Robbins Library, I couldn't believe how grand it was. So many different sections, machines that people use to look up books and discover programs being offered. I saw people taking things out of the library that weren't even books. So different than the libraries of my time.
In the summer, they organize fun reading programs, and in the winter, they have a craft fair that is primarily done by children.
Children definitely have a lot to do here in Arlington. What about the adults?
Well, for starters, there are many wonderful restaurants to choose from in just about every part of Arlington. And as you could tell by looking around in Arlington Center, there's a healthy cafe culture that moves outside in the nicer weather.
In front of the Cyrus Dallin Art Museum, there are often concerts, as well as beer gardens at places like here at the Jason Russell House and the Res during the summer.
There are a lot of talented musicians in Arlington, and once a year there's an event called Porch Fest where they play on their front porch for people to walk around and listen to. There's even a map that's available so that you know who you're listening to. It's my favorite time of the year.
There are also many chorales and music groups. I have some friends who sing with the Family Folk Chorale and others who play in the Arlington Philharmonic Orchestra. I also enjoy some of the live shows that happen at the Regent Theater. There's definitely no shortage of music in Arlington.
Goodness, there are many blessings here. But do you know what was not a blessing on our tour yesterday? I was attempting to walk up to the street with my name on it after eating that meatball sub. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. From D'Agostino's in Arlington Heights. Delicious sub. But I should have waited a little longer before walking around. That road was so steep, I felt ill after several steps.
Were you trying to visit Arlington Community Media, located right in the middle of your street?
What does Arlington Community Media do?
ACMi, as it's affectionately called, broadcasts local events, town news, and educates the public on technology.
Kind of like a town crier and a newspaper.
Yeah, I would say so.
Arlington Heights is a very hilly area, but it gets easier the more you do it. I see people walking around all the time for exercise. Sometimes I see people biking up it.
My Lord.
Is there anything you saw yesterday that you wanted to try?
There were so many things. But the one thing I hope to try before I leave Arlington is a cookie from Cookie Time.
I think that can be arranged.
Excellent.
And listeners, for more information on upcoming events of the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War, check out visitarlingtonma.org. On Sunday, April 6th, there will be a kickoff celebration at the Capitol Theater from 11 to 2 p.m.
April 6th? Wait, that's the birthday of William Dawes.
Oh, fun!
Why does he get a party and I don't?
Well, let's go together to the kickoff anyways. We can take a selfie with William Dawes himself.
Selfie? Wait, he'll be there?
You'll have to go and see for yourself. Thanks everyone for listening. And thanks for joining us, Mr. Revere. I hope you've enjoyed riding through Arlington past and present with Jane and I. We've certainly enjoyed riding with you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hello. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Riding with Revere, produced by Jen Coe and Doug Flateau, with the voice of Jane by Janice Broadman and Charlotte Pierce, with support from Karen Dawson. This podcast has been recorded at ACMi, the Community Access Center for Arlington, Massachusetts. If you'd like to learn more about ACMi, just visit our website at acmi.tv and find out ways you can create and support this community resource.
ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.